Once again, I'm live back on night 2 nights in a row. Could have stayed gone, but there's been too much stuff going on. A lot of tricks, psyops, and more, and also more things that ain't been getting talked about, as they should be. Um, okay, she said she's okay. So she said she's away with her husband. I had sent Felicia a link too, but she's away with her husband, so that makes sense. But what's going on, Bishop? How you doing today?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Yeah,
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I had a couple things going on earlier. I had to get my foot stretched out and all that.
Uh-oh.
Um, but there's been a lot of lies going on. A lot of so we had the State of the Union the other day, right?
Yeah.
They told you the inflation was at 6.4%, but it's actually went up since then.
Okay.
It's been up 11%. So that's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, to me, I don't see how you can possibly say that they have control over inflation. Inflation is not just about employment. It's about supply and demand. It's about raising prices on items. Eggs now $6 and $5 and all of this type of thing in various locations around the country. In California, it's
Hey,
nearly
wait a minute, wait a minute,
$10
wait a
a
minute,
dozen.
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You
Go.
got a little static.
Oh, okay. Let me see. What can I do to correct that? Let me see. Let me come in and out.
You can do that, or
I can use my
whichever you
phone.
want.
Let me see if I can use my phone. I'm on my iPad now. Let me see if I can use my phone. Let me see. Let me come in on the phone. Let me come in using my phone. I'll be right back in a moment. Un momento.
Hey, what's going on? You doing? Yeah. Well, it's mighty interesting. Yeah, I know we need to get back. Got some static issues. Actually, yesterday, I mean, I'm not mad about the static issue because yesterday, if I hadn't left the house, I wouldn't have used my phone. T-Mobile service went down yesterday across the nation. So whatever phone issues are going on, it's kind of interesting. Good evening. How you doing? So, um, whatever phone issues, So whatever phone issues is going on, that's just gonna how it is gonna be. So it is what it is. All right, how you doing?
Okay.
That's better. There it is.
That's better.
Hey, what's going on, Shaq? How you doing?
Peace. I'm here. I'm in the building, baby. What's good with it?
I don't know. I got Bishop on.
Hey, Shaq.
Hey, salute, Bishop. How you doing up there, man, in your neck of the woods, man? Sorry for your loss, man, but hey, you know how it go, man. Hey,
I
I feel the
know,
same
man.
way. I feel
I
the
know.
same way sometimes, man. With
It
the
was a great
Bears,
game, though.
man.
Great game.
Hey.
It's one of the better footballs I've seen.
Well, I'm gonna talk about. Well, no, I talked about that last night. Actually, I talked about all the tricks and stuff they were doing in that. They had a lot of Rihanna with the levitation, showing you the Ma Hamlin throwing up the sign and let you know that what side he's on and all that. I mean, that's fake. That's fake, dude. That's another little thing going on too, right there. Going on there. That's a lot of things going on in that little obstacle course right there. But I ain't getting him right now. I want to talk. Matter of fact, I'm gonna talk about something that can hurt Pennsylvania. Let me bring this up with you. Let me bring this up. I'm glad I thought about it. And because this is not really being talked about in the media as it should be. And I think they're being very, very, very hypocritical. Once again, this is Act of 1976. This is not meant to infringe. This is for education purposes only. Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. So let me bring this up. Because a lot of things have went down. I'm sure people will be asking questions. People are going to be a little bit dismayed about what's going on because they're saying you can't eat the fish, but you can drink the water in Ohio. And they just had a chemical plant explosion. Also, the United States is telling their citizens to leave Russia immediately. Dianne Feinstein will not seek re-election. But I'm gonna play a couple things here. We might even talk about the Michigan State. We are gonna talk about the Michigan State shooting, by the way. Come think about it. Bishop, there's some riots down there too. In Philadelphia the other night. Here we go. I got it. I want y'all to hear this and listen up. Very interesting. All right, Shaq. Anytime you want me to stop and answer questions, you can, because there's gonna be some questions that need to be answered here. I want you to hear this now. This is very interesting. Anytime you want to say, don't stop the music, but I'm gonna stop the music today, okay? Is that fine? We gotta ask some questions about what's going on right here.
Tucker Carlson's happy Monday. All of a sudden, it seems like Biden is shooting an awful lot. Have you noticed? Of course, the Pentagon took down that enormous Chinese balloon after it had already surveilled our entire country from the Aleutian Islands, China. But on Friday, the White House announced jets had downed an object the size of Nebraska. Then on Saturday, America 22 shot down an identified object. Say, a flying was this as a rare anomaly the night before it hovered over Montana. Mondale was not convinced. He said it looked very dim, and he was right. How was it? Were all three of them? Nobody seemed to know. Listen to the commander of NORAD, Air Force General Glenn Van Herk, pointedly say that the U.S. government has not ruled out the possibility of extraterrestrials.
Because you've still been able to tell us what these things are that we are shooting out of the sky, that raises the question, aliens or extraterrestrials, and what is that everyone is asking us right now?
Let the intelligence community figure it out. I haven't ruled out any every or potential ARCA to identify it.
Here you have three objects, these alien invasion. That means at some point they're probably going to demand to take. What do we call a Harris country because her privately, the U.S. government does not. These things came from another planet. Whatever they are, they were carried along by wind, air, and therefore unable our atmosphere without burning up. They must have come from Earth. In other words, they're balloons. What's weird is that no one in charge is willing to say the B word out loud, used by a flying octagon over Michigan.
Us anything more about this tag.
We're still just, I'm not going to. I think we all need to be humble here in terms of aircrafts that are going several hundred miles an hour past, essentially, in terms of relative motion, a stationary, not very big. Don't exactly look like, and sure exactly what the purpose of it.
Necktie on, and he's standing in front of a podium. But is this normal? Things are supposed to work? These things down, but we have no idea. We don't know where they came from. That's what's true. Another same the Nord Stream pipeline, single biggest terrorism in history, and continues to lie about it. Filter. So all of a sudden, we're seeing all these objects in the sky we didn't know were there, flying at altitudes that pose an obvious threat to commercial airliners. Okay. And you should take that seriously, especially from this, but you've got to wonder that at least one of these objects was a National Weather Service balloon. Again, that's true. It would mean the Biden administration used fighter jets to shoot down its own, and really are becoming a Fetterman nation. That's not true. I suspect it might be. For tonight is that there is chaos in America's domestic airspace. That has never happened before. It's not a good sign. There's chaos on the ground, too, a lot of it. 10 days ago, for example, a train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio. That's about 50 minutes outside. Apparently, we still don't have details on what that failure was. Of course, we do know 50 cars were killed, including fluoride causes cancer. Why?
It started with the thunderous boom and a huge plume of thick black smoke that you see for miles. This was the moment officials in East Palestine, Ohio had planning for, a controlled release of chemical from sealed train cars at the site of a derailment, one that has forced thousands from their homes.
And all the way around, everybody's
Decision to conduct a controlled release came just the Ohio community, sparking a massive fire. As the blaze continued to burn through the weekend, concerns quickly escalated. That's because 5 of the train cars carried the chemical vinyl chloride, an unstable material with the potential to explode, shooting deadly shrapnel up to a mile away and releasing toxic fumes into the air.
We don't want to second guess anybody. We got to assume everybody involved was doing their best under a highly stressful situation. But to mushroom cloud, that was purpose. There's a good reason to go second. But what it means is those clouds toxic up and out, and that toxic smoke almost immediately began killing animals. Dead fish washed up on shore. As one hazardous materials specialist put it, we basically nuked a town with chemicals. So then the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, arrived calm. As an EPA explained, derailed to enter the watershed, fish. But drink water supply totally safe. Now, we don't know if the locals in East Palestine are to you. The Biden administration didn't seem concerned about it either way. Donald Trump got 61% in the county in the last presidential election. Not exactly Democrat. What does a chemical spill have to do with it? You can't use it to sell solar panels. It's not really an environmental disaster. That's the rule in Washington. By the administration, but the path of those toxic mushroom clouds you saw floating up from the train wreck. Pete Buttigieg is the official who's supposed to be in charge of our transportation infrastructure. Technically, he's the transportation secretary. At an event today, he seemed to have no idea that there's a derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. His real complaint is we have too many damn war construction country.
We have heard way too many stories from everyone in the hard hats on that looking like
Is they messing with the stream, Bernard?
Life, I was overweight, and
They might be, but that was what I was wanting to get to anyway. So I'm actually glad that I got to that part. So what's going on in Ohio is with the thing, and Buttigieg says that Black people or people of color are now people are coming into construction projects, but the people in the projects don't look like them. That's been true for a long time. We've been knowing that. I mean, anytime you go to a construction site, I don't even see that many white men. I see more Hispanics work on these sites, but that's just me and other people. But nevertheless, that's what he said. My thing is about this chemical explosion or train derailment. It happened in Houston. There's been 40 of them across the country. That could be to get a high-speed rail, and it could be to do a lot of things, right? But nevertheless,
Man, this is
go ahead. It's a reconstruction.
the war. This is but look here. I was just watching the documentary on Timeline on YouTube about the atomic bomb. And this is exactly what was going on back then. They could do the Cold War, coming out of the Cold War, going to World War II. These world powers, superpowers, trying to take over the world. It's the same exact thing going on with the economy, the ration out the food, blowing up places. They send these bombs and they were shooting bombs and testing bombs, atomic bombs, nuclear bombs, in certain places, islands and stuff. That's what they doing. They doing the exact same thing that was going on back then. We going to go into a war, World War III.
It's a war
Yes,
game.
it is. That's exactly what it is.
All right, good. Glad somebody knows what's going on. Go ahead, Bishop.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Nothing surprised me. And once again, they're throwing this smoke screen, as they generally do, to try to distract from the reality of it all. I think you're right. I think there's a plot here to really go to war. I really believe that's their intention, is to ultimately go to war. You know, if you look at the history of the United States, most of the wars that we've had, certainly the major wars, have been propagated by the Democratic Party. You talk about World War I, that was Woodrow Wilson. World
Communist
War II
people.
was Franklin Roosevelt. Korean War was Harry Truman. The Vietnam War was Lyndon Johnson. And on and on, and and on and on and on. You've had naturally some Republicans as well, but for the main, certainly in the 20th and 21st centuries, there have been really Democrats who have always been hawks, and it's weird because the Democrats always profess to be doves and lay the allegation on the Republicans that they're hawks. But if you look at the truth of the matter, wars have always been started under Democratic administrations, no doubt about it.
Yep.
And certainly the major wars have all been started by Democrats. All the major wars that we've been engaged in, the longest wars, Afghanistan, all of them. Certainly, Korea, Vietnam. I mean, all these wars were started under Democratic regimes. Even now, when Trump tried to hold back and pull out of certain areas, now we're back in them. We're back in Somalia again. We're threatening Russia. We're threatening China. You know, these things are just moving toward. And then I'm going to tell you the truth. Unlike before, where we were the only powers that had the atomic bomb, for example, during World War II, we were the only ones that had that power. Now we have all these nations I just mentioned also have nuclear weapons. China has nuclear weapons. Russia has nuclear weapons. And of course, we have nuclear weapons. This war would be a catastrophic war, unlike any war we've ever seen in the annals of time. You're talking about millions upon millions would be dead. You think World War II was bad? It'll be nothing but a cakewalk compared with World War III would be. With all of the possibilities of there being someone who pushes that button that releases nuclear warfare. And once the one button is pushed, China will push their buttons, Russia will push their buttons, and the world as we know it will be no more. We're teetering on something that we hadn't seen since when I was a boy, the Cuban Missile Crisis, when JFK was on the verge, along with Nikita Khrushchev, who was the premier of Russia, of the Soviet Union then. They were on the verge of starting World War III then. We're even more likely to start it now than then. You keep on playing around with these people. The Chinese already have us economically. Trillions of dollars we owe, $1 trillion we owe that country. The only one that we owe more to is Japan. And Japan let us know years ago, we'll never fight you again militarily. We'll fight you technologically. And that's what they've done. And China's the same way. They're not going to fight us militarily. They're going to fight us in other ways. And they're already beginning to do that. Look at all the stuff they own in this country. And we're going to talk about it on tomorrow night. I'm going to give you a blow by blow of all the companies they own in this country. We're going to tell you about how much farmland they have that they own in this country. How many U.S. businesses are over there in China? They have 252 businesses that are on the New York Stock Exchange. So these are big, powerful businesses. 252.
Right. Wait a minute, let me bring something up. Because you were talking about war, right?
Uh-huh.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I wanted to bring this up.
See,
you talk about war, right? We need to expand this conversation. Because I was going to let you keep ripping, but I wanted to bring this up. So remember we were talking about that, right? I got a lot of things to cover tonight because there's so much going on. See, they got everybody stuck on Valentines Day today. Luperconda. We're going to talk about that too. That's another distraction. Right? But you said war, right? You said this reminds you of war, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when war happens, don't you need to cut off communication?
Certainly.
T-Mobile suffers major power network outage across U.S. last night. Disruption was reported all over the country with many customers able to place calls or send texts. Retired network chief Neville Ray cited a third-party fiber interruption issue at the calls. You don't believe there was no fiber interruption issue, do you?
Nope.
Okay, good. But what I'm saying, when you have war, you have to cut off communications.
Okay. Now go back to what I said before. Go back to what I said before. They call them the Titans. You know who the Titans are of the 19th century?
Wait a minute.
Who?
Wait a minute. Let me read the first two paragraphs, and then you go ahead, okay? Let me read these first two paragraphs. Thousands of T-Mobile customers reported significant network problems on Monday night, with many unable to place calls or carry out other basic functions. Issues were reported across the country. We use it from California and New York saying that services up and down are completely unavailable for extended periods. Down detectors spiked and showed over 80,000 reports of problems. Owners of Apple's iPhone 14 phone said that signal status showed no cellular connection whatsoever, instead defaulting to the emergency SOS satellite indicator. By late evening, the carrier seemed to be getting a handle on things, but customers customers were very displeased with the disruption. Yeah, so that's that. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Y'all can get this article, but yeah, just Google TheVerge.com. You'll find, or Bing or whatever, TheVerge.com will tell you all about the T-Mobile issue. And they said there was another hack with some iOS phones or something like that. A lot of nonsense going on here. I don't believe none of it.
Yep. Bishop, Bishop, do you know who the Titans were of the 19th century?
The Titans of the 19th century.
Yeah, who they considered, who they was, yeah.
Weren't they, I'm trying to think, what nationality were the Titans of the 19th century?
The Titans.
Yeah, the Titans.
Plural, of the 19th century. Yes, sir. You know
Expound on it. Expound on it.
Roosevelt.
Oh, okay.
Mao Zedong.
No, that's during the 20th century.
Huh?
That's during the 20th century. Because
what you mean the 20th century?
Because Roosevelt was president during 1933. That's the 20th century.
Say it again.
That's the 20th century. Roosevelt was president. Mao Zedong was the head of the People's Republic of China. And who else were you going to mention?
Okay, what year was that?
Those are all 1930s and 40s.
Okay.
So that's the 20th century.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the 20th century.
Okay, well, the Titans. Them,
right.
Mao Zedong, you got Hitler.
Yeah, that's right. 1930s.
Right. Winston Churchill.
1930s.
Right. Stalin.
1930s.
Okay, all them. And what did the Soviet? Who was the Soviet Union? What did they form?
They were formed in 1918. They're
okay.
Russian.
But what did they? Right, the Cold War, all that. What was the They started what? They started something called the what?
Soviet Union.
Yeah, but it was still what? The still what?
You talking about? Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they were nicknames. I'm forgetting now what the nickname was. You're right though. They were called the Iron Curtain was one thing.
The Iron Curtain.
Right.
Bernard, and the reason why I went around that route that way because exactly what's going on. You just said in war what they do, communications, and the Iron Curtain was blocking out communications.
Right. That's right.
It was secrets, the stuff that the people wasn't privy of that was going on. Certain insurrections, war, little small cities and towns was getting taken over. Other little power government people that was in power were getting assassinated, and it wasn't being reported. You know what I mean? Tyranny. Right. Tyranny was running amok across the globe. Italy, Mussolini, all them.
Right, that's right. You got Franco in Spain.
Hey, is it running amok now?
Yes, sir. Think about it. They just used the so-called C-19 to run the script on these. Look who started, who got knocked off during that time. Some major power players within their own country.
Oh yeah,
Mussolini
was assassinated. Hitler committed suicide.
But I'm saying, but all them was doing their own tyranny during that time too. But later, like I said, yes, they end up had to, they formed the United Nations and had to get rid of some of them cats because they was considered superpowers back then.
Oh, they were the superpowers.
Yeah, they was superpowers. They was taking over, and it was what? It was a communist agenda, like you said, democratic communist agenda by all of them.
When the communists was one,
yes, sir.
What you had Russia was the communist. Hitler was a socialist. The Socialist Republic. That's what the Nazis really mean. That's the real name of them. And then you had the fascists, like Mussolini. He was a fascist. And you had Franco in Spain. He was a fascist. And you had the monarchy in Japan. Emperor Hirohito. That was the king. Emperor. He was emperor. He wasn't even a king. He was emperor. They were ruling the country. Then of course you had Franklin Roosevelt in the United States and Winston Churchill in England.
Hey, are
Hmm?
psychopaths?
Yeah,
Are we gonna be
narcissistic, super psych.
run by psychopaths?
Man, those were narcissistic. Yes, and they motto was, "Hey, um, they didn't want to be taken over. They didn't want to be under nobody leadership. So they would rather take over, right? Be in power, or destroy the world.
Is
That's
it
right.
by
That's
any
it.
means necessary? Is it by any
Oh
means
yeah,
There
that
you
was their
go.
motto.
necessary?
There you go. I mean, it's the same thing. What I'm saying is going on now. You know what I
Okay.
mean? It's the same
All right.
identity going
All right.
on, the same thought, same mindset. They doing it more strategically, and they, like you said, with they're more digital with it. It's more digital. It's more technology involved with it nowadays.
All
Nothing
right.
new.
Hold tight, brother.
Only thing new is this technology. Hmm.
All right. All right.
Same
Cool.
agenda.
All right. Wait a little bit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I can't hear you because you're breaking up a little bit, but it's okay. We're gonna get through this.
Hmm.
Man, now they messing with the stream again. God damn it. Look, 3 students killed at Michigan State University and 5 wounded at Michigan State University. 3 students were killed and 5 others were injured with some life-threatening injuries. Academic building and student union. The man was 43 years old. Yes, they showed a picture of the man. The man is a black man. They asked him Dwayne McCray. They said the police do not yet know a motive. But a 43 man going on a college campus, they're going doing something. And then Biden comes out and says that we must this is another senseless act of violence. They had to do David Hogg on the other day talking about the Parkland shooting. This ain't nothing but another goddamn psyop. The dad gonna get you riled up again. I said, here we go again. Shaq, this is going back to that iron curtain you talking about. This is
Yeah, but see what they doing is now they gonna.
except they use this for gun control.
Hey Bishop.
Yeah.
Hey Bishop. They're gonna flood you with too much information with the internet age to flood you with a lot of information so you can still be wet. Because if you over let me see what's the word I'm looking for, Bishop. Um, you overflood the circuits wet.
Damn.
And start the short circuit. So you don't know.
Yeah.
So at
That's
this
it.
point, you ain't gonna know what's going on. You don't know what you ain't gonna know what's true. We in denial about what really is going on because we don't know. They flooded with so much stuff at one point in time. We getting an overload. Here, there. It's an overload in our brains. So we just say what? Man, I don't believe nothing they say. But it's stuff that's going on as we speak.
Mm.
As we speak. Somebody probably getting assassinated as we speak right now.
Oh, certainly. Oh, sure. And if they're not being
Let me say
assassinated,
something to you.
there's a plot to assassinate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say something right here. Donald Trump compares FBI to Nazi Gestapo. How you feel about that?
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay.
Hold on. You said Donald Trump is compared to who?
He compared the FBI to the Nazi Gestapo.
I think the CIA can fit in that category too.
Well, hey, and just say this, Bishop and Bernard. They could be descendants of them. Remnants. And the remnants of them. Yes, sir. Remnants.
All right. Got something else to show you here. We're gonna be hitting hard and heavy tonight. This is gonna be some funny stuff right here. Oh man, I'm about to give you all the smoke tonight. See, last night, bitch, we were talking about the Super Bowl and stuff like that. You know, we were talking about that. We were talking about a lot of things, but we talked about a couple other things. All right. Now, What the hell going on here?
To reach their home.
What the hell going on with this damn thing? These bastards, y'all. I guess I'm in overdrive. You are trying to kill one person, injure at least one else, including the officer. They shoot the street. Hey, that's what that happened here. All right. So, me, I'm not stopping. The crazy driver shouted out at victims. The Valentines man, a 62 homeless man, no pride, arrest in New York. Stop Asian hate. I can't remember. I don't know. I'm lost, man. I tell you, they got too much stuff going on. How you feel about it? It's interesting. Got in the U-Haul and just did his thing. Bishop, a lot of things going up there in the EU. New York, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, everything going on. Don't you think? Ain't it crazy?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's just crazy. It's crazy. All over the place, even New Jersey. Things happen in New Jersey as well. Well, it's not even regional. It's national. Weird things are happening everywhere. You just had something happen there in Michigan. The killings over there. This world is going crazy. It really has. It's really going crazy, and I think there's no end in sight. I don't believe. I think this has to culminate. Hopefully, it'll culminate to some sort of reason, and we'll return back to where we need to be in every regard. I was talking to him today about. I was writing on some things about how we need to return back to some kind of morality. We've lost all kind of ethics. There's no more morality. There's no more ethics. There's no more fairness. It's just dog eat dog, and whoever has the biggest dog will get the biggest bite.
Dog.
Yeah. There's a lot of pit bulls around here. Once they get a hold of you, it's hard to get them off of you. I'm gonna tell you the truth, Bernard and Chak. Unless there's a change, I don't see any hope of a future of this country. I really don't see any hope for it. It may last another 20, 30, maybe even 40 years. But I don't see for my certainly if not by the time my great grandchildren come along, I just see this country being a shell of what it was. And I tell you the truth, we will have been the shortest big power in the world because most of these other countries you just mentioned, or China, for example, is thousands and thousands of years old. Russia is thousands of years old. We're not even 500 years old. We're not even 500 years old as a nation. And we're almost on the verge of becoming extinct as a world power.
All right.
Really, the only thing that will keep us in the game at all will be the fact we got nuclear weapons. That'd be the only reason why we would stay as long as we could. Because if we didn't have the nuclear weapons, I don't know how long we would have been here even now. I don't know if we would still be here. But certainly that's the thing that keeps us having some kind of leverage is the fact that we have nuclear weaponry. And that's the only thing, in my mind, to keep us having any kind of power at all. Because nobody in the world likes
shift
us.
gears just a little bit.
Go on,
Let me shift gears a slight second, because I'm gonna come back to some other things. I want you to hear this story. Very interesting. Chak, tap in anytime you want. But I think it's a nothing burger, really.
Maya Brown, a senior at Hillcrest High School. She organized this week's walk. The young Tuscaloosa chapter of the NAACP. I'm sorry. Thank you both for being here. Let me start with you. Expect many of your students protest?
No, it was a shock to me that many kids out there to support.
And do you think that they'll keep at it with you? Because what you're saying happened truly is outrageous. So has it galvanized your fellow students?
I feel like actually more will come out and help. I feel like this would spark it, and I feel like more students will come out and participate and have a voice on the situation.
A meeting with the hope of that meeting.
Well, when this first with the meeting, in that meeting, which originally was about the restriction of the civil rights movement and slavery being included in the Black History program, we learned that there was a culture at that school of racial insensitivity. We have demanded with us to discuss this, but also to discuss some punitive have been taken toward Jemiah from participating in the Black History program. Yeah.
And Jemiah, we just have a little.
For administrators to know that the right to fight what we believe in and shouldn't be minimized, or our thoughts are the way we feel like that's used to uplift us and educate. And it's time school system mindset.
All right. What do you think about that? Kind of interesting. Well, not interesting. Actually, I think it's BS, actually, because I don't believe these students stayed in the walkout by themselves. That's the first part. But nevertheless, I think they will put up to do that because you saw the lady with the NAACP there guiding the situation. What do you think? You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. You
Okay,
can go,
yeah.
Bishop.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I think a lot of it's just bull. To be honest with you, I just don't see. I mean, I'm getting to the point that I really don't have much confidence in any of our leaders of any sort, on any degree. I don't care whether it's from the national to the state to the local. I'm very suspicious of the motives. I think we ignore, and I think we ignore to our own chagrin, the influences of the special interest groups and the oligarchs. We keep on looking at these politicians, and they have no power really. They work for somebody bigger than themselves. They are dictated to, they are manipulated by, the oligarchs. We need to start looking at them more closely. We somehow or another, they have really gotten us bamboozled. They got us looking at the politicians as if the politicians has the answer and has control. They got us looking at each other with disdain and mistrust and dislike and virtually hatred of each other. They are so shrewd that I would venture to say not many people even know the names of these oligarchs and these special interest groups who lead them and who head them. We don't even know their names, and they're the ones who rule your country. You think it's Joe Biden that's really ruling this situation? You think it's your state senator or your federal senator or your federal congressperson that really is running the thing? And yet that's the lie that we've been told. We are not a democracy and we're not a republic. We are an oligarchy. We're run by a few. We're ruled by a few. That's what an oligarchy is. It's a government ruled by a few, not by many. We're not a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. There's statistics that say only about 8% of what we want is ever given to us by government. 8%. The rest was given to special interest groups, lobbyists, oligarchs, and then split up amongst the politicians who get a little chunk of it to keep them going. We get about 8 to 10% of rulings and laws and policies that are passed down that will impact us in a positive way. But we keep on thinking every election that our vote's going to really matter. They made it clear to you. And I don't know when we're going to get through. They're so obvious now. They're so bold now. They don't even try to hide nothing anymore. They tell you, both parties, Republican and Democrat, tell you to choose from the lesser of two evils. And what do? We choose the lesser of two evils. Never demand that the best shines through. We don't vote for the best. We don't vote for the better. We vote for the worst. And they tell us. How can somebody be so naive when somebody tells you, I want you to vote for two evil people? You decide which one is the worst of the two.
They can tell you,
but either way you go, you're going to get evil.
That's what you're supposed to do. Shut up and vote.
Exactly. But so who do really? To me, I'm getting to the point. Who do we really blame for all this now?
Blame yourself.
The politicians? Do we blame the oligarchs?
Blame
do we
yourself.
Blame the special interest groups and the lobbyists, or should we begin blaming ourselves?
Yourself. All right. Now look, I want to play this. Chak, this more your specialty than mine about what it is. Now, actually, it's my specialty. I let the lion bastards tell it like it is.
Hold on. What was this you bringing on, man?
Index data
No, it's good. It's about inflation. Relax.
Released today finds that inflation rose 0.05% in January and was up a full 6.4% over January of last year. And gas prices are still up. This comes at finds that last year's coverage of inflation and pandemic economic woes by ABC, CBS, and NBC networks rarely made mention of President Biden effectively giving the commander-in-chief a pass on the issue, according to researcher Rick Noyes. Quote, virtually all of the network's full-length reports included multiple interviews with consumers angry about the high prices, plus families on tight budgets who are being financially crippled, Noyes continued. But the networks rarely connected the widespread misery to the president and his policies.
Meanwhile, over on Fox News Network, evening talk show The Five is cable's only program to score over 3 million total viewers and over 400,000 viewers in the key 25 to 54 age demographic.
Yeah, they're
last
killing
Friday
it.
night. They had a Super Bowl ad, in fact, in which Gutfeld was in a chair, a throne, crowned.
Yes, that was an ad for Gutfeld, though, not for the Five.
Oh,
yes,
sorry.
Because
but it's a crossover. It's a Marvel
Gutfeld
universe.
does both.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gutfeld does the and his own show. His show often has Tyrus and Kat Timpf, and they were both in that ad. I thought it was a funny ad.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think a lot of people were a little triggered by it, but you should celebrate. I mean, they're doing really well. Some of the people who are more liberal leaning I was watching with took a kind of umbrage, and I was like, well, I think we should be asking questions about why that programming is so effective and why people, including a majority of Democrats, are preferring to watch Fox News over MSNBC and CNN. Instead of kind of scoffing and being upset about it. But
indeed. Anyway,
this question
prices.
about inflation, it's a really interesting one because we saw how it was kind of focused on and I would argue weaponized. It is a real issue, but it was also being not incorrectly so by Republicans going into midterms. And then it seemed like everyone sort of dropped it. No one really cared, which does the consumers a disservice because per these polls, inflation is still
bad.
So far up above last year. And I actually just recently interviewed Stephanie Kelton, economist at SUNY Stony Brook, about this for an upcoming episode of my show that'll air on Thursday. But, economists keep making this point. Inflation, producers, corporations raising the price of goods. Now, they can raise the price of goods because the cost of producing those goods has gone up. There has been some of that as caused by the supply chain crisis and the COVID pandemic and all of those other kinds of things. Also true that there's been a lot of evidence of price gouging where we've seen profits sky high over the course of the last 2 or 3 pandemic years, despite the costs of production also going up. So the question is, if we want the prices, are you actually going to address the fact that corporations are exploiting the public perception that there's a supply chain crisis and the reality that prices have gone up to, in fact, extract even more from consumers? And what can we do about that? And other countries have, in Europe, they've done energy price caps and things like that to try to keep the prices down. America seems to not be really into those kinds of interventions, at least not since Nixon did it in the 1970s. What's so unfortunate is so much of the narrative has been around this idea that through some kind of magical thinking, without actually going after corporations who are price gouging, without actually doing some of the infrastructure projects that can get more things built at home so we don't run into the supply chain crisis going forward, that you can just snap your fingers and make inflation go down. And while I have no great sympathies for Joe Biden, if you're not willing to actually implement policies that go after the root of the problem, simply saying Biden is in office and inflation is up and that's why it's bad, people are not making strong arguments about how it is that these checks that went out 2 years ago now are causing producers, corporations, to have to raise their prices to the extent that they have. And until people can make that
That was me doing that. I didn't want to play the whole video. I just wanted to play. You were talking about them stimulus checks, Shaq, the other day, but those stimulus checks were the reason why some of these prices that went up. See, they give you the stimulus, then they inflate the economy, inflate all the prices. They just
but that's bullshit because
matter of fact. No.
You know what?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Go ahead, because I'm.
Go and get it because
I wanted to put out one thing.
Go and finish what you say because I'm gonna kill him with the guillotine.
Last night, gas was $3.03 yesterday, right up the street. I went up the street today. It was $3.29 in less than 24 hours. All right, it was another station when I was leaving the gym about 7 o'clock. That was $3.03. I said, well, dang, you know what? I'm gonna give me some gas. I got 145 miles left in the tank. Let me go fill up. When you know the same station was $3.20, I should have made a U-turn in the street and came back. They increased the prices on Valentines. They brought them down on the weekend, but today they bring them back up because they know more people can be on the road. Don't you get it? Food is up since January 22nd, 11%. I used to take my nephew to this place across the street named Chicken Fiesta. Went in there probably about 2 weeks ago. That's it. I said, damn, what happened to the fries? Oh, we went up. Oh, y'all, first watch. That was another one, first watch. I said, wait a minute. Let me use that better than oatmeal was like, I don't know, $8 or whatever for some big oatmeal and some French toast or whatever. I said, dang, y'all went up. They're like, yeah, inflation. The waitress she's like, yeah, inflation, man. It went up, man. That oatmeal $9.39, right? All right. So that means that food been going up, eggs going up, gas, whatever you name it. All right. I need price gouging, Shaq. It's the only question I need to be asking.
Yes, sir. And somebody actually somebody needs to be brought to there needs to be some restitution paid to the American people, man, because how can you price gouge in a time and a crisis? And the way they doing it, Bishop,
Make you
they
feel some
doing it
economic
so
pain.
where they really putting you in debt the way they doing it. See what I'm saying? Somebody
Yeah,
has to be
right.
answered to this. Y'all keep
Feel the
skimming
pain.
over, and what they're gonna do with this administration, they're gonna allow that stuff to go on, and then they're gonna throw it on the Republican table like they always do, instead of them addressing it, like she said, addressing it. We have no solid information on how and why these corporations and certain companies allow to price gouge due to, you say, supply chain, supply and demand. Right? There's no solid. Then that's one of the things Trump was saying. We had to get regulations on some of these private companies and
Are we
private
getting played?
entities, these corporations. They need to be regulation, because
Are we
even
getting
with the
played?
credit, the debt, even with the debt and credit situation, there's no solidified way of determining how they calculate your credit. You know what I'm saying? Whether it rise, low, what you got to do to get it into a certain standard to be able to qualify for certain shit. It's just chaos, man. Disorderly chaos going on with these corporations. They allow these corporations to run amok on American people. And we still got to pay taxes on top of that. And
Hey,
then
look,
shut up. Tell us to shut up and don't talk about it.
I got a question. I got a serious question because I need to
Yeah,
get this on. I need to get this. It's almost like me writing a letter to administration. Shaq,
we need to.
are we
We all
getting
need to write
played?
letters to them. Yeah,
I'm played.
we all need to write letters to them and tell them, hey man,
Okay,
look
we're
here.
getting played.
Yeah, we
Bishop,
getting played.
are we getting played?
Oh, no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. We're
The
getting
3-0
played.
We are
But no,
getting
I'm gonna
sorry,
say it.
like
I'm
the
gonna say
Miami,
this
but
though.
we are
We're
getting played.
getting played, but I think we're allowing ourselves to be played. I mean, come on now. I mean,
We
come
are getting
on.
played.
When do you stop playing the instrument? When do you stop playing the game? When you play a game and I cheat in the game, when do you start saying, I don't want to play with you anymore? You're a cheater. I'm tired of playing this game because you're always changing the rules. It always is to your advantage. I never win. You always win. When do you start saying,
We changed the
it's a
rules
fool
right
that keeps on playing the same game over and over again, knowing they can't win?
Mm.
It's not meant for you to win. It's not set up for you to win. But you keep on playing as though you can win. It's almost like that thing about you keep on repeating the same
Can't
thing over
win.
and over again, expecting a different result. It's called insanity. When you keep on playing a game, like for example, I would never
So
play
let me ask you a question.
basketball with LeBron. I'm gonna always get beat. So why would I keep on playing against LeBron basketball, knowing I ain't gonna ever win against the man? Come on, people. Come on. Come on now. You're
Let me ask you a question though. Let me say something. We are getting played, but listen to me. Listen carefully to me. Listen carefully to me. We are getting played, but we're getting played to our own detriment. And let me tell you why we're getting played. I'm going to say this. Okay. I do not have a problem with people watching the Super Bowl, right? That is not my issue. But if you see it and don't understand it, you got to understand that it's a distraction. They putting signs, symbols, and numerology all in the game. They're doing all this stuff in a fast pace. Like even with the Rihanna performance, you can see the levitation in the air and all the red and white. You can even see they had the hazmat suits on. Didn't you see what they had on in outfits? Hello, didn't they tell you in 2 years they're going to try to release another pandemic in Brazil? They basically just told you what they're about to do in the damn game. We all getting played, but they actually show us that we're getting played. They say, we're going to play you, and you're going to be stupid, and you're not going to, you know what, I'm going to say this. About over 50% of the American population in a trance, and we are in a psychosis. Yes, we are insane. Can we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again? Yes, it is insanity.
It is. You're absolutely right. How can something that, come on now, people. you've never won a game. Never won the game. And when it looked like you were about to win, they changed the rules. When it looked like you're about to catch a break and finally realize what they're doing, then they changed the rules. First of all, they never show you the real puppeteer. They show you the puppets. And you look at the puppet and say, wow, look how they move and look how what they do. They're being manipulated by the puppeteer. We don't know the puppet master. All we're doing is look at the puppet. And we're so involved with knowing who the puppet is, and we vote for the puppet, and we think the puppet is going to help us out, and we think the puppet has our best interests in mind, and they were elected with their constituents and all that bullcrap. They really think that we are that the puppets are really the masters. But there's a puppet master that pulls the string of the puppet. We don't even know who that is. And the sad part about it, we don't even care who it is. We just keep our eyes on the puppet. Expecting the puppet.
Let me ask you, Bishop.
A puppet cannot. I don't care how good that puppet may.
Wait a minute.
Here,
Wait a minute.
A puppet is nothing but a dummy.
It ain't your fault
until there's a hand
it ain't
that begins to move it.
Pinocchio.
And,
Wait a minute.
And even
it ain't your fault if you believe Pinocchio.
Well, even he was made by
a puppet, right?
But even he was made by
Pinocchio?
Geppetto.
Pinocchio
But even he was made by Geppetto. He was nothing but a piece of wood until Geppetto got his hand on him and made him into Pinocchio.
Hey, Pinocchio got swallowed by well, man, shit, damn.
But you know what? Let me ask you, Bishop. Bernard talking about. Yeah, Bernard talking about the signs and symbols, right? So some people online are saying that, you know, that Super Bowl performance with Rihanna. Have you ever heard of this cultist called Wicca? I never heard of Wicca before.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
They saying that she's some type of witch.
Yeah,
some type of witchcraft type.
Right.
Yeah, so they're saying that she did some type of Wicca dance, and she's elevated to a higher level, like priestess type level, by her performing that particular ritual, whatever.
We gotta go to it.
I'm looking like I don't know nothing about it, Bishop.
Yeah, I know about the Wiccans.
But look, now I'm about to show y'all another little sign, symbol, and numerology because Adrian Peterson talked about it. I want y'all to listen to this. And listen to this interview with DeMar Hamlin. And it's not what they say he's saying. It's what he's not saying.
Michael Ham, Buffalo Bills safety, his first interview since his collapse. His recovery is nothing short of.
You are right about that, Robin. It's so good to sit DeMar Hamlin in the face and just have a conversation. He took the field last night before the game, and he was there with the help who treated him. He showed and he talked about the moment, changed everything. Buffalo Bills safety has come away since collapsing on the field during Monday night. Maybe Hamlin as millions watched on live television.
Is the last
January 2nd. How are you feeling before the game and when you were out there? Normal?
Super normal, feeling good.
Can you tell me what you remember?
Things I wish at a game, just trying to get a win.
So in the course of the game, you
Boy, they breaking this shit up bad, boy. God damn.
Standing.
And they are more
the trainer CPR to you, alert off the was
in my life, just night, he was literally the savior of my life, you know, administrating CPR on me. And that's something I'm truly thankful for, and I don't take for granted.
And looked at it
Once or twice while I was in the ICU. So describe yet something I'm still processing. I'm still working. Me.
First thing,
family, mom, my dad, friends there, just people around me, and you know, just trying to tie it all together. The first thing when I woke up, thinking like
you're sitting
playing with everything I know. I won the game of life.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Who's ever on another way?
Just even saying winning life, that expected for me, you know, and it could have been in the details of the situation of everything.
Your doctors in Cincinnati, they called your recovery remarkable. Later, for life. Recovery so remarkable.
First and foremost, just God, just a blessing. You know, I'm just thankful He gave me to live normally and just, you know, almost without a scratch on me, just to be able to keep going.
After him, just charged for you. What are this for? Right now. How do you describe having physical, any say you had a heart issue or any normal?
Being let alone athlete. And still be was.
So you made a surprise appearance with the teammates. Said you were flexing.
Yeah. Right here, just like this. As soon as I got on the Zoom call, I felt like it was important just to show strength to them, so they could keep going for me. And they were just so happy to see me. So that was like a breath.
To team field with them.
Oh, it was super tough. It was a uneasy feeling. I really couldn't settle in at all.
I definitely understand that. You're used to being on the field. It's hard to watch.
It's hard.
How are you doing physically?
You know, every morning every night, you know, I take 10 deep breaths to myself. It puts everything in perspective for me. So I'm doing great.
How about emotionally?
I'm still working. I'm still trying to process all the emotions and the trauma that comes from, you know, dealing with a situation like that and not really having people around, or, you know, like no one in my immediate circle who's dealt with something like that.
Do you want to get yourself back on the football field?
Eventually, you know, that's always but I'm allowing that to be in God's hands.
And did the doctor tell you it's possible?
It's a tough situation. They, you know, they can't really tell because it's like up to me thing, I guess, or you know, it's a long road. They just were worrying about trying to get me back to normal as much as they can.
Since this has happened, the interest in learning CPR training has skyrocketed. And that's the direct impact because of you.
Yep. You know, right now I'm teaming up with the American Heart Association. We're trying to get 3 million people to apply and to learn CPR. And that's something that I feel is important because it really did save my life that night.
I mean, what a remarkable young man.
All right, now. You heard that, Shaq. They're trying to get 3 million people to join, start learning CPR, huh? You heard that, right?
I think that's a great idea. I think that's something positive we get that came out of it. I think that's great.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea. But my thing is that they're gonna charge. They're gonna make some money. What he was saying. It was about what he wasn't saying about that right now. I want to stay away from that conversation. Ask him about your heart. What happened? Did they tell you? He like, I feel great. I feel normal. You can play football again. Hey, look, man. Look here. I seriously do not believe that's him. I think they putting out deep fakes and audio on us and just having said that dude look way skinny, man. Yo, they say he got up in 3 days. I mean, like, dang, man, he rose from dead or something. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, to me, it just seemed the NFL went out of their way to put him out on Super Bowl Sunday, and he put the sign up again. You saw the sign. You put it in your face. I'm just letting you know. That's not no heart, man. Okay, that is a triangle. That is a pyramid. Okay, number 3 again. Okay, just putting it out.
Well, I told you.
Right? You can see.
I told
put
you.
it out there for you all the time. Go ahead. And this
Well,
is the thing that got me with Roger Goodell. Why was he sitting beside Roger Goodell and the Kelsey brothers' mother? Why wouldn't he be sitting with his own family? A lot of stuff just didn't make sense.
Because I don't know. I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. We know we're living in the capitalism world where they're gonna spend and make everything, you know, benefit, make it a benefit. It's gonna be a benefit, but I do believe they expose themselves to them, North, because if it's true, they just say everything with this guy with this. I don't know what the injury particularly was, a cardiac arrest or whatever. Don't necessarily mean that everybody die, but I think they expose themselves, Bishop, because I do believe they have technology to bring people back to life, the dead back to life. Or let's put it this way: a lot of people that have perished in them so-called the care of the medical industry per se, I do believe it could have been prevented and they could have brought those people back to life. I do believe that. I do believe they had that technology information to this day. Simple things that you wonder, well, what damn, they went in for this, then how did they end up dying? They went in for this, or they was in the hospital maybe with a cold or something. So how did they pass? You know what I mean?
Oh, I believe you're right, Shaq. I mean, there's no doubt. I believe there's a cure for many of the diseases that we have. I think there's cures for certain cancers. I don't think not every cancer, but I believe there are cancers that can be cured. You know, I mean, I always wondered about Michael Jordan. He had AIDS, full-blown AIDS. He's supposed to have had HIV. Then he said he had AIDS, and yet all of a sudden that man's been living for almost 30-some years with that condition. You know, looking
Yeah,
healthy.
Magic Johnson, yeah.
You know, I just
Magic
wonder.
Johnson.
You know, just about it's incurable. This quote incurable diseases. It's incurable maybe for you and me because we can't pay $1 million for it. But I don't think it's incurable to those guys that have the money and the means to pay that kind of money. It's incurable for me. It's incurable for you, but it ain't incurable for them. And I think that's a travesty. But I think I really believe in my heart of hearts, and we've talked about this before in the past, that there is a undercover plan to depopularize this world. And those they deem as being expendable, they're slowly but surely getting rid of you, slowly but surely. I believe there is a plan for depopulation. And the elite and those that are classified as being the strongest and the fittest will be the ones who survive. The others will be eliminated slowly but surely. There's a work of genocide. There's a work of genocide that's being planned.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
hey Bernard, you got some people in the chat that I haven't seen before,
that's
man. I
very
don't know. We got people in the chat, man, that I see them coming in, man. They coming in
one
the
of them
chat
is
and then flooding in,
Darius.
man. Which one is Darius? What's his handle?
Yeah, I know. I see him.
What's his handle?
I don't know. He changed on. He texted me though. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, I
But he
see.
texted me. He from there.
I see a Ivan. Yeah, I see a Ivan Wayne Incorporated. Ivan Wayne NIC would say, they say what's up, what up, bro. I see Deborah.
Yeah, Deborah.
Oh, okay, Deborah White. Okay, yeah. How's she doing? How you doing, Deborah? See,
Steve
I see a Steve. Yeah, Steve Alholla from. You know who that is?
Yeah, I said what's up to him. Yeah.
Okay, what up, man? From St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, yeah, I should stay in St. Louis too, man. Peace. No, I'm just recognizing the people in the chat, man. It's good. Madam, what's this? Madam Magma.
Yeah, Magma. Mm-hmm.
Salute, Madam
Memphis,
Magma.
Tennessee,
See,
right? No, that's not Tennessee.
she coming out of
East
Oakland.
Oakland, East
Yeah,
Oakland,
they know. I
California.
seen him.
East Oakland, California.
Yeah, East. Okay, yeah, you got E. Jerome.
Mm-hmm.
E. Jerome Wright. He coming out of Memphis, Tennessee. What up with the people in the chat, man? I like to give y'all a salute, man, for coming out, man, and checking us out, man. I mean, that's what's up. That's dope.
Adrian Peterson.
LS coach.
Now look,
That's
got
dope.
one more thing here. Adrian Peterson says he's spoken to DeMar Hamlin about the disrespectful jacket he wore at Super Bowl. While Peterson says he still hates the jacket. He doesn't believe the 24-year-old was coming out of malice. That's the jacket right there. Him sitting beside Roger Goodell and Kelsey. He called the jacket blasphemy. That's a picture of the jacket right there. Oh, I gotta put it back up. So Adrian Peterson doesn't like this jacket, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting. You remember, and he's one of the best running backs we've ever seen. Probably broke the record. I actually might have broke the record if he didn't get in trouble for spanking his son. They basically put him on an exempt list for a whole year in 2014 or 15. I forget which year it was. But hey, Adrian Peterson said he didn't like the jacket. So says blasphemy. But it is what it is.
So let me ask you a question, Bernard. What platform was Adrian Peterson on when he said he don't like the jacket?
Believes he handled it.
Say it again now.
Let's see.
Can you hear me?
I gotta see what, because it's reported by TMZ. I can hear you.
That's what I'm saying. See how they pick this stuff. See, these people, all that stuff is controlled, because I can make a comment, then why they pick and choose what they want to make go viral, dude. That's what let me just say that. All the people that made comments, they pick and choose Adrian Peterson comment and put it on blast and make it public information. I mean, hiding it, make it more, because we wouldn't know about this unless they put it on blast. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I gotta see where he had to say the TMZ. No. It didn't say exactly what he got it from. Yeah, he did look skinny, Frank. You're right. He did look kind of skinny for a football player. That's what I was trying to tell you. But now we got to get into something. You
do lose weight. You do lose weight when you've been in the hospital. You ain't eating like that now. You do lose weight. That's one thing you could benefit by going to the hospital, Bishop.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna lose some weight.
Oh yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of weight.
You're gonna lose some weight.
You lose a lot of weight.
Oh yeah.
I've been there, done that.
Me too.
Let's get to this. Somebody's going to... Don't leave the chat, please. I'm not being mean. but I have to be real. Let's go with it. We about to go on with it, baby. Let's talk about some commercialism. Valentine's Day is Lupercalia, a pagan festival and a holiday. Okay, let's get this out of the way. All right. You may have heard about the pagan festival of Lupercalia in 23 and the origin of Valentine's Day. You may also recall a pivotal scene in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar where Caesar refused the crown offered to him by Mark Antony during the holiday of Lupercalia. So what is it? It is a Roman pagan festival, including its history, traditions, and blood sacrifices. Okay. Many pagans, witches, and those interested in nature spirits celebrate the seasonal cycles, sometimes referred to as the Wheel of the Year, consisting of 8 celebrations. 4 of them festivals, Symbolic, Pertain, Luke, Sada, and Sahim are rooted in Celtic history and origins. Celtic, Boston Celtics. The other 4, spring, equinox, summer solstice, autumn equinox, and winter solstice, represent the sun's location. I created a complete guide to each season, including history, traditions, symbols, corresponds to ritual ideas, and how you can celebrate. It is this celebration also involved animal sacrifice and fertility rituals, but also was a time of feasting and overall debauchery. Over time, this festival evolved and transformed into celebration focused on fertility, health, and childbirth. All right. The ancient festival took place every year on February 15th in Rome. The Satanic Temple also listed this as one of his annual holidays. So y'all can get this whole article. I mean, it's a long one, but basically about blood sacrifice and rituals. So what I'm saying is you just pull up brunette.com. You can get this article. It's kind of long. I could read it all, but it's basically telling you about blood sacrifice, ritual, origins of Valentine's Day, and things like that. So when you celebrate this, you do not know what the hell you're celebrating. You're celebrating this. This is actually in the Synagogue of Satan book I got down. No, I got it. Well, it might be downstairs. But is rituals here. Okay. So therefore, it is rituals, and we need to know what's going on. Blood sacrifice didn't seem like it really helped too much up there in Michigan where they were killing people, so whatever the case may be. But nevertheless, I mean, we just have to be aware. It's kind of like Christmas. They tell you do not decorate, with your tree and all that, tree ornaments on a tree. Don't cut a tree out the forest. It's the same thing. And it's about commercialism. So what I'm saying, Valentine's Day is everything for me. And that's with man, woman, and child. This Valentine's Day last night when I was talking to you, this is an act of love, talking to people in this chat, talking to people on this line or conversation, giving somebody information, telling people how to eat right, how to live. This is an act of Valentine's Day love. You want that? I don't need they to tell me that they'll spend some money and spend $20 on some chocolate, and then tomorrow the chocolate's gonna be $3. That's inflation too, and that's just one day inflation, or whatever you look into. I'm just pointing this out. That's all.
But you know what? If you look at the so-called heart, right? Where did they get? I'm gonna ask Bishop. Where Bishop? What did they do in their mind that they come up with the silhouette of a heart is what they portray is this image we see? Because the heart, a human heart, don't look nowhere near look like that.
No, it doesn't.
Right? Okay. If you turn it upside down and with the point sticking up, you're looking at it straight up, it kind of emulates a triangle or aka a pyramid. Right? And
good point.
The ever wisdom, Miss Latney. Hey Bishop, you're gonna like this one.
No.
She said you can make your own heart. I said, how you do that, Miss Latney? She said, all you gotta do and sit in some red paint, right? Sit in some red paint, and then sit your butt on some on some white paper, and you can make that print. I said, well, hold on. So you saying that print that we consider the heart, the red heart, is the silhouette of a man's butt? That's a man. A man bent over. You see the point? That's the penis. That's the phallus. The two round bottoms, that's the bottom. That's the butt cheeks. The little crack. I said, hold on. Damn, we getting played again, Bishop. Damn.
My goodness.
We've been getting played all this time. We've been celebrating the homosexual symbology.
Then what do you
Bishop,
and
I'm done.
In fact, is the arrow
Huh?
the penis? Is the arrow going through the heart, the penis?
I don't know what that is. I guess that's the broken
I
heart.
got a
I guess. I
pineapple
don't
right
know.
here. Hey, look.
Yeah.
I got a pineapple right here. I can make this a heart if I really want to.
Oh yeah. I got two.
Let me
You know,
get
that's
some red
right.
paint. I'll be right back.
But Bishop, she killed me with that because I'm like, a heart. That's not what a heart looked like.
Not a bit.
So how did they pull that trick off?
Because you
Explain
believe
it
it. And you believe it, right? Come on.
Woo. And a red heart.
They slick
How
though.
about
You know, they
this?
slick.
How about a black heart is considered what? A spade.
Right.
Now, what is that?
That's
See,
us.
this is some old trickery.
Hey, look, that's us.
Oh,
That we were called spades.
wow.
We were called
See,
spades.
break it down. Wow.
Black folk. We were called spades.
Wow.
Mm.
Because I'm thinking about the card game, right? You got the hearts and
Yeah.
diamonds and all that, but it's all on the back on white paper though. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The
Oh, yeah.
background is white.
Back
White
there.
surfaces, canvas.
Everything backed by white.
Oh, that's deep. That make it even deeper.
Everything backed by white. Whether you red,
That's wild.
whether you the red man or you the black man, you backed by white.
Wow.
He's the one backing you. You stand in the front and he's behind you.
Wow. What you think about that, Bernard?
Hey man.
Backed by white.
I'm putting it.
Wow.
Hey, look, man. I'm about to find me a picture of a heart right now, goddammit. Hey man, because guess what? You can take that heart on that picture if you want to. If you feel gonna try to put that heart and put an organ transplant, your ass is dead. you smoke me.
I bet you. Woo. Then think about this. They got people eating hearts. I'll shake Kevin. So what you mean? So you telling us we cannibalism too? They got us, boy. You gotta laugh at the slick, conniving, what's the other word, Bishop?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Scheming, manipulating.
Manipulating, scheming. It's another one. Devious.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's definitely that.
God, dog.
Diabolical.
Diabolical.
Are we getting played in? Are we getting played again? It's a question. Are we getting played?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Because it say, would you be my Valentine? And in history,
Hold on. Super Bowl had 50 million people bet on the game, and they said they made $14 million. I know they're gonna make $1 billion on Valentine's Day. Close to it, possibly. Even with inflation. This is how you know when you're being played for a sucker. I just showed y'all the inflation going up and people still buying. First of all right now, I know people gonna hate me for saying it. If the eggs that high on the shelf, don't buy the damn eggs. Okay? If you don't buy, they gotta come down on the prices. The consumer is playing the sucker. And you'll continue to be a sucker. Just don't buy the damn egg.
The most effective, I'm gonna tell you the truth, the most effective tool that the civil rights leaders used wasn't the marches, it wasn't the protests, it wasn't the sit-ins,
boycott.
It was the boycott. That's what broke the South back. It wasn't about you sitting in the restaurant or you protesting with your signs and getting beat in the head, that's what made things happen. When you began boycotting companies, when they began that bus boycott, and they did it for over a year, not no 20 minutes, not no half hour, they did it for 395 days of not getting on the bus. Some of them walked, some of them carpooled, some of them quit their jobs, whatever they had to do. They refused to get on that bus, and it broke the bus's back. Because the white people had cars. They didn't need to ride the bus like that. It was the black folk that needed to ride those buses. You admit all the black folk,
Question.
your company gonna fold.
Got a big question. I got a good question. Okay, listen to me. It's a big question. You were talking about people boycotting back then, right?
Yep.
Let me tell you something. These clowns today, not all of them, okay, because you got some people that will. I'm not but also, now let me tell you the downside of that boycott. Do you know what it is?
What?
More people started getting into more individualism out of the civil rights movement than collectivism. See what I'm talking about now?
I see what you're saying.
Because once you got your shiny rose, I get to sit beside Sally and I get to sit with Bob and all that, sit with them all, man. Let me shut up. Bob said, well, look, I don't give a damn. You know what? Yeah, I was stupid. Let me take that goddamn money. You want so much to sit beside me? Let me take your money. But guess what? 50 years from now, you'll never boycott again because you're not going to train your children to boycott no more because you felt like you got to sit beside me. What do you think Al Sharpton them when they went down to Memphis? They ain't talking about Tyrese Nichols getting beat up and killed and talking about some daggone refop for y'all to be on the police department down here in Memphis. He ain't tell you to boycott, so I know he won't talk about nothing. He was there, he said boycott everything. He ain't do that. He ain't talking about no boycott, so he ain't talking about the
I'm gonna
nonsense.
tell you the truth, Bernard. The difference between now and then, and there's a lot of criticism I have about the tactics that were used back in the civil rights movement. But let me tell you something. Our quote leaders of today aren't even near the leaders of that day. They're not even near the Malcolm X's. They're not even near the Stokely Carmichaels or the Martin Luther Kings, Medgar Evers, Fred Hammond. They're not even near the quality of H. Rap Brown. They're not even near Huey Newton. They're not even near the quality. Not even near the quality of those men. And they weren't old men like these guys are. They weren't 68 years old like Al Sharpton. They weren't 60 years old like Ben Crump. These were 21-year-olds, 39-year. We gotta remember that stuff. We gotta remember. Those were young guys. They were your age, Shaq. It was your age, Bernard. That's what they were. And they were ever evolving. The Martin Luther King from 1967 to 1966 to 1968 was not the Martin Luther King of 1964 when he had a dream. He himself said, "My dream has become a nightmare." That's what King said at the end. "I'm not coming no more to march." He said, "I'm coming for my check." We forget that King. Even the rebel of you guys. Forget that King. We remember the King that said, I want my daughter to lay beside your daughter, and I want my son to go to school with your son. We remember that the dream that he had. But King, he evolved. He was 31 when he made that speech. 31. By the time he got to 38, he had changed his mind. And we have to remember that. These guys were your age, and you guys are ever evolving. So we have to give them the same benefit of the doubt. They were ever evolving. Malcolm X, he was evolving every time he turned around. He was starting something new and a new idea and a new approach to things. I mean, those guys are ever evolving, And these guys are old guys now, and they're so stuck in their ways. There's no evolving when you get 68 years old. Ain't no changing you. Ain't no changing no Ben Crump. Ain't no changing Jesse Jackson. That guy's 80 years old. Ain't no changing them guys. What are the young men doing? that's going to bump them out the way and say, okay, guys, thanks for what you tried to do or what you pretended to do. Now we're going to get it done. I'm looking to you, Shaq. I'm looking to you, Bernard, to take this thing to another level. You know the era of Martin Luther King. You know the era of those other men, and you certainly know the scheming and manipulation of these new crop of leaders. Now it's up to you to say, okay, we're tired of this. They've been around 80 years, 82 years old, has Parkinson's disease. Come on, get out of here. Al Sharpton looks more like a skeleton than he does a human. Stop it. I mean, come on. I mean, I looked at him on that thing. I said, my God, that guy looks, woo. You talking about horror film. And we still, we got to stop this. We got to stop this. The young people, I'm looking at you guys to say, okay, enough's enough. This is how this thing is going to run from now on. We're going to stop falling for the okie doke. We're going to stop voting for black just because they're black. We're going to stop that. We're going to rise up people like you, Bernard. You need to start getting yourself together. Like you, Shaq. You need to start getting yourself together to be the new leaders. Not TV hosts or radio hosts, but the new leaders of this country. We need somebody. We need fresh blood. We need a new idea. We need something that's going to be radical, almost revolutionary. And until that happens, it's going to be status quo.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I want to show you something. The reason why we can't. Well, we can. Let me not say we can.
So that's our problem. We can't. Or we can't do this. We can't. So forget it then. Just stop talking.
No.
If we can't do it, then just stop talking.
No. I'm not going there. I'm going something a little bit farther, and that's a little bit more detrimental.
Okay.
And so I shouldn't say it can't, but we got to do it. In 53 Illinois schools, not a single student can do math at grade level.
Wow.
53 schools.
That's
deep. You can do math. 53 schools in Illinois. In 30 schools in Illinois, not a single student can read at grade level. 22 of those are in the city of Chicago. Yep. What do y'all think about that, man?
I think that's a product of integration.
Mm-hmm.
When we lost,
because
like single one in 113 Salvador High School can read or do math at grade level. No child left behind. Everybody getting left behind.
And this is our future. This is our future. You are going to have to be under their thumb when you get my age, because these guys coming out now will be your age. And what's your future going to look like? Think about that. What's your future when you're my age, and your leaders are people their age? Because you don't stay 18 forever. You don't stay 12 forever. Eventually, you'll be 30.
Not forever 21.
You're going to be old like I am one day, and you're going to be in my place. They're going to be in your place, and this is what you have to look forward to. People can't even read, can't even use logic, can't do this, can't do that. But they're going to still be elected because that's all.
Bishop, I'm gonna be dead on with you. I'm gonna be dead on with you, Bishop. Let me say something about that. That ain't just people my age. That's people your age today that still don't use logic. It's a lot of people not being logical anymore.
I'm agreeing with what you're saying. The new crop of people that are coming up, the young people that are coming up, will be your age one day, and you'll be mine. Can we trust them to carry this thing through if they're being stifled by this, like you're saying? That's an awful statistic. 20-some schools out of 50 in the state of Illinois.
Baltimore was the same thing last week. Baltimore had 3 schools like that last week. This was in Baltimore, and that was in Baltimore last week. So this is an ongoing thing. This is not just
it's across
Illinois. This is going on in a lot of places.
I'm just using your example. I was using your example. You didn't use the other. I'm just saying, because it's in Philadelphia too. It's in Philadelphia. You don't think it's in Philadelphia? I know it's in Richmond too. I'm sure it's in Cincinnati. Everywhere.
Well, let me say something, and I'm gonna bring this up. Mighty funny. Now, this is the thing I always say. Don't get me wrong. People may take this personally, but it's okay. Doesn't it seem like they let us get into the education system and then they let us take it down as well? Like, because I realized that, you know what? I've been seeing a lot of black school superintendents lately in these areas, I'm just saying. But they kind of let us take it down and then they blame us. But these teachers aren't your teachers that are really quote unquote professional. These are private interest teachers, like some of them from Teach for America and substitute teachers. During COVID, a lot of them had substitute teachers, which is fine. But I'm looking at it more so in the context of that. Really, tell you the truth, don't nobody really want to be a teacher no more. They don't want to be a construction worker. They don't want to be a fireman, policeman. Things that were looked at as admirable. We want to be basketball players, rappers. Not everybody, of course. But let me say something. Something that has basically a percentage of less than 1% of the population in, because not even 1% of the population plays in the NFL or the NBA. Just that's a fact. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
So for us to be striving to be that, besides working on what you can do in your own personal circle, right? Because I don't give a damn how much they prop LeBron James up there talking about his Super Bowl and he got 38,000 bucks. LeBron James ain't done a damn thing. That man's supposed to have a school. He ain't a school. That's just use his name. But nevertheless, he ain't done a damn thing to help these kids in test scores.
True. Well, I tell you the truth.
One thing about the elites. I'm saying this about the elites. Let's think about the elites. One thing about the elites. The elites want you to be stupid and uneducated. That way they can rule, baby. It takes two to make it out of sight. Come on.
That's true. But I'll say this about
so we keep getting played again.
But let me say this about the other groups, Bernard. The other groups, I don't care whether it's minority, even white folk. The other groups in this country, they will at least do this much. They will lift each other up to the point they're elites, like the Ford Foundation, like the Rockefellers, and the Carnegies, and the Hiltons, and the Vanderbilts. They have foundations and they support Harvard, and Yale, and all those schools, their schools. They support them. The alumni support them. We don't support each other. We don't. We really don't. We just bicker with each other. When we see somebody getting ahead, we want to pull them down. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be really honest with you now. Shows like yours, when Chak gets on his show, and even in his Instagram shows, and I visit all you guys. Sometimes you don't even know I'm on the show. And if I don't see it live, I tune in on it later on, because I know something's going to be of value to me by listening to the show. These shows should certainly be more viewed than that nonsense of Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and all the people twitching and twerking and all that kind of stuff. This is your future. These shows are talking about your future. That ain't going to do nothing for you. It's making them millions, but they ain't going to do nothing for you. And they ain't going to do nothing for you. They're not going to put back into the community. They're not. I don't know a Ford or Vanderbilt amongst our group that will put their money and establish a foundation that will lift up the young men and women of our community. We got enough millionaires and even billionaires that we shouldn't be in the shape we're in as a people. We still buy from the Asians, buy our hair from the Asians, go to the poppy stores to buy our milk and our cheese, go to the poppy store. Then when we go to Wawa into the 7-Eleven, they're run by the Indians from India. Then you go to the other stores, they're run by the Arabs. and we put all our monies into that. But I'm not gonna support Bernard. I'm not gonna give him no cash app. He's always begging for money. Man, don't you think Walmart's begging for your money every time you go in there? Do you go in there just to look around, or do they want you to buy something? You go in there with the intent of buying something. You go in there with the intent of spending your money. And these people are multi-billionaires that could buy and sell you and your baby, and you still supporting them. But if Shaq would say, "Well, support my health program," you would say, "Help me open up a exercise studio." Oh man, every time you turn around, all they doing begging for money. Man, it's going, but you don't say that about Steve Bezos. Every time you order from Amazon, every time you turn around, he begging. You don't say that about him. You just get your check, you get your credit card out, open up the online app, and start spending.
Let me say something. Let me say something to you. Let me say something to you. I want to say this. I really want to mention this. This is key. I had a conversation with somebody about that, and they told me straight up the reason why they do not, because they said you're trying to make it as an individual. They told me they don't worry about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, this is a company. You'll never reach the level of a Jeff Bezos. So they say that the reason they don't buy from us is because we are just Bernard, Bishop, and Shaq, right? They look at Amazon as a company. I had a guy tell me, I asked who owns Amazon. He said, I don't know. I said, well, look it up. He said, okay. He said, so what's your point? He's like, this is a company that provides brand service. He's like, why would I go to a little hog stand on the corner when I can get a whole pack instead of buying yours? I said, but don't you? He said, yeah, but it's more for him to, Subway. I said, well, so you don't care about the company. He said the company is the brand. He said they buying it for the brand, not the individual.
But this is where the naivete comes. There is it's almost like football, okay? We say when we look at the Browns, or in basketball, we look at Hurd or somebody else in football, and we see these multi-million-dollar contracts. Well, what do you think if I can give, let's say, 11 players on one team, and let's say 22 players, because you got the offense, defense, the starters, I can give each of them at least $1 million, and the big time starters, I can give them $45 million. What do you think I have? What kind of money do you think I have? So every time you buy a ticket to see a Eagles game, or the Dallas Cowboy game, or the San Francisco game, you're not just dealing with the brand. You're also dealing with the man who owns the brand. That's the one who's going to get rich. Because to be honest with you, there's no such thing as a brand outside of the owner. What is a brand? What's that? That ain't nothing. A brand don't get no money. Ain't no brand a millionaire. Amazon as an Amazon ain't no billionaire, but Steve Bezos is. Amazon ain't nothing but a logo. That's all Amazon really is.
But it's actually the consumers and the consumers or the Patreons that make the brand. Because if you put the value on, if you don't buy, if people ain't buying it at the level it is, it don't get to that brand level status of being this upper echelons of statute of I want to go over here instead of over there. But see, Bishop, what you just said earlier, we are in a state of mind where we do not value ourselves. We value everything else. We value a lot of material things, which we can have and own. We can value and own those same material things, but we, like Bernard just said, we don't see the value in us building us and participating with us, each other. Like Master P. I mean, no, I'm that's big. I'm gonna say Ron Hurd. We all BTV. When I first got onto him, when I first came to this internet stuff, this the podcast and stuff, I said, you know what, man, he do a great job, man. He got some great t-shirts. He got a great apparel going on. I like his art. I participated. I bought some of his art. I think his art is his shirts is just as great as Versace, Louis Vuitton, Adidas, Nike. I put the value on it. I put the value on Ron Hurd and We All BTV. I put the value on Judge Joe Brown, Valentines Jones. I put the value on Bishop.
That's right. You're right.
G-Man. I put the value on in conversation with Victor C. I put the value on King BJ. And that's the mindset we got to start.
I like
we
that.
put the value on what we want.
Right.
So we
I like
already
that.
in value all this other stuff that's been put in place. We got that in. We got that. They got that. They got that. We have maximized it to the most one. We get it. It's time to put value on ourselves and value the things that people that look like us that's doing it. It's our job to go seek the person that's got something that you want and put the value on it. Spend your money with it. Patronize them too. You can't keep complaining about what white doing, what
I ask
this
a
doing, what
question?
that doing, if you're not putting the value on the people that look like you or you came from. It's just not going to work. You're going to forever be a consumer.
So
It ain't nothing wrong with that.
So
But see,
Bishop,
other places, Pakistanians come to this country,
so
Indians,
Bishop, this is
they
what
will
Bishop
not
talking
buy black stuff. They're not going into no black store, no black neighborhood, purchasing nothing. Asians, Chinese, Japanese, they're not going to buy nothing from no black store. They probably ain't watching BET. They got their own stations and stuff, TV stations and movies and shit that they watch, for the most part.
They do.
Hey, wait a minute.
That's a fact. Hispanic,
Wait a minute.
they do.
Wait a minute. Bishop, this is what Bishop was talking about. He was talking about uneducated stuff. And he was talking about, you just said 2 points. That's why I tried to jump in right quick, because I want to play this for you. I'm going to play 2 videos, one from the women's side, one from the men's side. Hold on for a minute. All right. Could be both, but I want you to see this. This is what Chak was talking about. This is the foolishness he was talking about. Ladies, I just called it out. Some ladies, not people in this chat mostly, but this happens.
Right there, like I said, I don't give a fuck if I got a bar for y'all. I can't put y'all fucking my Google it. Can you? Oh my God.
It's choppy. I can't even understand what's going on. It's so choppy, Bernard. You should have played it off your phone.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it was a little choppy. Regardless, what happened was there was a fight in North Carolina. Women, they were fighting Chinese hair store. The woman said she's 5 months pregnant. She just wanted to get her eyelashes done. You ain't got to go to no Chinese shop to get your eyelashes done. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, man. You don't have to go there. That's all.
Hold on, slow down. Look at the mentality. This is the mentality I'm talking about. Ladies, I have no problem with you ladies of any race, creed, accessorizing to make yourself the so-called beautify yourself. But you're 5 months pregnant and you still want to put chemicals in your body on top of your body. Vanity. You still want vanity. You see, we at a level, Bishop, I keep saying, we take vanity over sanity. We are stuck in this nigga autopilot. The mindset, the nigga mind, autopilot mind. It's just stuck there, man. Ain't nothing wrong with you buying nice things, having nice things, but at the point where you want to get into a fight with somebody over it, you can't just walk away and say, hey, I'll come back when, oh, this is the last one. Okay, well, I just got to wait. I just got to be patient and wait till the next shipment come in or whatever, however the situation go. Even at the liquor stores. People fighting all at the liquor store. People fighting at the gas station. People fight over materialistic BS.
All right. Let me play this one. This is more like all everything thing. It could be men, could be women. I'm not sure, but it's the same. It's the same script. Okay, just going.
I can't believe all the reports of violence that broke out when people rushed to get the newest pair of Air Jordans. A crowd busted through this door in Indiana. And remember, as you're watching these pictures, this is all over shoes. A few people got trampled. Doors were ripped right off their hinges. The Air Jordan retro shoes just went on sale early Friday morning.
Since I was a kid, I've been, working hard just to come up here early in the morning just to wait in line to get these shoes. I was the first person out of everybody that was out here to get these right here.
How many pairs of Air Jordans do you have?
About 9 pair of Air Jordans, but it does not matter about those. It matters about these right here.
This was the scene in Kansas City where people were sprinting through the halls. But that's nothing compared to this mall in the Seattle area where people used pepper spray to break up a crowd that was pushing and shoving.
I got burnt, man. Look, it came all over my face. My mouth is on fire. My eye, look. I can't even, if I lick my lips, my mouth will burn.
It was just too hostile, too dangerous. So some pepper spray was used because that definitely gets people's attention.
Part of the problem is that each store has a limited amount of about 150 pairs, and each pair costs about $180, but they resell on eBay for almost $500. People in Georgia say one mom even left her 2- and 5-year-old children in her car while she went shopping at the mall door during all the chaos. A rep for Nike.
All right, Chak. Hey, somebody talk to me about this because that ain't make no sense, did it? Come on, tell the truth, goddammit. Didn't make no sense, did
Mm.
Are we
You
getting
know what the
played?
older people used to say back in the day, Bishop?
Are we getting played?
Poor babies. Jesus help them.
Are we getting
Jesus
played?
help them. Hey,
Are we getting played?
man, look here, man. But you think about it though. Now he said, what does the Nike rep say? Because if you know that's going to be you putting out people anticipating, why you only put a limited amount out deliberately to cause that type of chaos though? See, and cause so much chaos with that.
But what was the big part though? This one over the shoes. This was over really that we're gonna sell them to you $180, but they can sell them for $500 on eBay. That means they not worried about the shoe. They trying to sell them shoes on to make a $300 profit. 300 plus.
Of course.
320. That's the game plan.
Hey man.
Smart.
So hey man, it is what it is, dog. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't use my time to dwell in those type of situations. Participate.
That's looked at school to some people though, Bishop. That's what you're saying. This, even though I threw some little bull crap in there, like to show you, that's what Bishop was talking about. That this is what people would fight. That's what Bishop was talking. That's why I played that, Bishop, because you said this is what people would fight over, people would gravitate to. But if you're watching me, Warren, he's just talking about what's going to happen tomorrow, what might happen in 2 years. But, we want the Air Jordans and we want the hair, and all that. You know what I'm talking about, Bishop.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you, Bernard, did you know how many views that had? Is there the way to find out how many views that particular video had?
I didn't even look. That's something I probably need to look at.
Yeah, I mean, it's just for argument's sake. I want to, because we're talking about why yours maybe is 50 or 60, where theirs is 2.7 thousand. And some of them get as high as 1 million views for stuff like that. 2 girls fighting in the middle of the school. They'll get 5 million views.
And you're right. Some of them are doing this stuff.
This guy,
some people.
Number 683,000.
Look at that. 683,000.
But you know what,
and I,
Bishop?
and Chak and Frank and Victor and all of us, if we're lucky, we may get 25 to 30 people. Not no 1,000, 30 people. 40 people, maybe 50 if we maybe had Judge Brown or somebody world renowned on there. But certainly nothing like no 600 and some thousand. Ain't no. And what are they benefiting from that? I'm gonna tell you the truth. The things that you said 2 years ago when I really began following you in an earnest way, some of that stuff has actually come to pass within 2 years. Some of that has actually come to fruition, actually become a reality within only 2 years. You ain't talking about something going to be years and years from now and we'll all be dead when it finally happens. No, some of that stuff you've said over the years, and you too, Chak, have said over the years, have come through to now. It's coming into play now, just 2-3 years later. So there ain't nothing. Well, I don't have to worry about it 'cause my grandchildren. I have to worry about that. No, oh no, baby, it ain't gonna be take that long. Even the baby boomers are living through some of this crap you talked about. So I mean, we all still alive.
Oh my goodness. Let me say this. Oh my goodness. Hey, look, I'm not imitating the woman, but I gotta imitate what people tell me, men and women. Oh my goodness, Bernard, you're saying that you're so arrogant. That's not gonna happen. Why would anybody do that? Oh my God. Well, where did you get that from? Oh, I got it from the same phone you got. I don't believe it. I'm not gonna look at it because I don't believe that it's true. I'll wait for CNN to tell me, or this one to tell me, this one to tell me. Oh, well, you wait on it then. Keep on waiting. Keep on waiting. And you can wait to be dead in the casket too.
To confirm it.
Because what I'm saying is trying to your goddamn life, and you telling me you want to go to the casket quicker.
And then the thing about it, Bernard, is they're going to wait and believe the people that have been your age-long enemies. The people that kept you in bondage, you're going to believe them. CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, MSNBC. You're going to believe these people that are run by a group of people that have kept you in bondage. Half of these companies actually started with your being in bondage. Because if you look at who really runs them, they're the old bankers. They're the old guard. That's who actually started these companies. And so you're going to listen to and believe and follow people that have been your arch enemies for 400 years, and a brother who's only trying to help you, get you out of the muck and mire of your ignorance into a better understanding. Oh no, I ain't gonna listen to him. It's almost like I know some folk used to tell me, I don't go no black doctor. I want an Indian doctor. I want a Jew lawyer. I want a this kind of person. You know what?
Wow.
What kind of foolishness? But that's what they'll say.
But
I don't want no black doctor. I don't want to go to a black doctor. And I'm gonna tell you something, Bernard. That is a product of integration, because my doctor was black. My dentist was black. My everything in my life was black. My pastor was black. My music teacher was black. But when integration came along, now we got the best of all the worlds. Now Payne Seminary is not good enough. Now Howard is not good enough. I want to get into Harvard. I want to go to the University of Alabama, where I couldn't go just a generation ago. That's where I want to go now. And I don't care whether Payne lives or dies. I don't care whether Howard folds up and closes doors. I don't care about that no more. Yet they're the ones who gave us our first doctors, because we couldn't go into the University of Alabama. We couldn't go into Harvard universities. So our first doctors came from Payne Seminary, Howard. That's where our first people came from. But they're not good enough anymore. I want to now that I can get in the door. That's the door I want to go into. And the old door that used to open up for me, I don't care whether it closes. I don't care whether it folds. I don't care whether it burns down. I'm a Harvard man now. My daddy was Howard, but I'm Harvard.
What you think about that? What you think about that, Bishop?
It's the vanity, baby.
Look, I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I was coming along, we couldn't get in the good hands of Allstate. They would not give us insurance. We couldn't get the piece of the rock, Prudential, because they wouldn't let us in. They wouldn't cover us. We had to go to North Carolina Mutual, a black insurance company. We had to go to Gaskin in Alabama because he owned a black insurance company. Those are the ones that insure us. But now that we can get Allstate, we can get Prudential, we can get all the other ones that we can get. Now we abandon them. Now all of them are gone. North Carolina Mutual is not even in existence anymore. Gaskin is dead, and so is his company. They're not in existence anymore. Now we're part of the rock. Now I'm in the good hands of. Nationwide is not on my side.
Well, let me say this.
We're not gonna insure you, nigga. Get out of here. But now we're nationwide.
The word on the street is, Bishop. The word on the street is they're trying to get Kanye to come back to Adidas or find a way to rebrand this thing. So that go to show you that you can always break the camel's back. Let me bring up one other thing.
Well, hold on. Before you go there, let me just add a tidbit to that, because I read too that They was like, you know how much they lost? They lost. They were standing to lose 1.3 or 1.8 billion dollars. Almost 2 billion.
Yeah.
They went down, man. They sales and stuff went down. They profit went down. You know, trying to fake bully
But
people.
you
being
jumped in,
dishonest,
but I'm
being
copying off you
distrustworthy.
now. Can I be a copywriter? Let me be a copywriter right quick. What I was saying, they lost so much money, and I was about to give you your flowers and that shows you that we are the currency.
There you go. That's what I've been saying. We've been tricked. Now they plan have worked so far. It's been almost 100 to 200 year plan, and it was work. It's working. It's working as they planned it to work.
And look,
They work overtime,
and Chak,
but it's
and look,
working.
listen to this. And who's been the harshest critic of Kanye? Black folk.
Some
Same
black
with
people.
Ice.
Yep.
Hey, same with Ice Cube when he had his
Yep.
black agenda. Who was the ones that stood on TV? The black lady divas. He don't say he don't mention black women. He would mention blacks as a group. If you're black, you're included automatically. But you wanted to be. I want him to talk about black women's rights. Once again, parroting the white feminists, parroting, following after Massa. In this case, Mercer, because it's the women that they're following. We just want to aggregate ourselves. We want to be so included in their group. That's a crane. Go on. I'm sorry.
Do we love Massa?
Yeah, we love Massa. We love Massa.
You know, like a dog. You got a dog. You know, you pet a dog on the head, like.
Good doggies.
Look, you know what? You know that
doggy
thing with
wags his
Beyonce.
tail.
You know that thing with Beyonce, like, ladies, pet your real hair. Man, you might be petting the dog. And, hey, look, I don't know if that's human hair, horse hair, what you got in your head. I don't know. Shit.
And nor do you care.
Wow.
Huh?
You know, it's something.
Well, no, I
It's
might
something
care,
to us.
though.
I don't know.
I might care, though. I do care because some of these women are developing alopecia, scalp burns, and things like that. I do want them to be healthy. But that's another thing. Let me come back one more time. I'm about to let y'all go. We've been on quite a while. We've been hitting hard tonight. We've been hitting hard. This is even harder than last. But listen to me closely. That will get you in a lot of trouble too if you're not talking to the right people, because when you tell people things to benefit their own health, right?
Yep.
And sorry, I'm not asking people to be 150 pounds like me. I'm not asking people to go to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning. But I am asking you, if you're asking me to help you work out, don't make it worse, right? By eating a bunch of junk, just because you want to look at. Well, somebody asked me, well, how did you go out to eat? And I said, look, I don't eat but probably one meal a day, and then I might eat some almonds, pineapples, or stuff like that. But this thing about eating 4 and 5 meals, I'm just saying this could be, could probably piss some people off. But you remember when we were like, I would say people, when I grew up I was born in 1987. When I grew up, I did not see a lot of obese people. My grandmother was, and my aunt was, but for the most part, I did not see that all the time. You can see that as soon as you walk into the street door if you really want to. And when they tell you that 66% of people in America, no, black community, I think it's black community, it might be more. It might be, I gotta go back and look, but I think 66% of people, women or men, were obese. That tells me something. Now, I was telling Chak this the other day. Chak, I told you this Sunday morning or Saturday, whatever I told you, one of them days. I told you when I go to the gym at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, right? I see mostly white people there. I might see a few sisters. I'm not gonna lie, I do. But then I'm going to work. Now, here's the thing. This thing about us, some, not all, because a lot of people are productive. But we do have to, you get your most energy when the sun comes up. That's why the rooster says, cock-a-doodle-doo. This thing about getting up at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I get somebody to go walking. I don't want to go walking. What do you want to do? You want to watch TV? Yeah, I want to watch my shows. What is all this non-productive? What I'm saying, when I grew up, people were more productive. Daggone, they weren't glued to a damn television set all day. I grew up And I used to, the first thing I wanted to do when I was a child is I wanted to go outside. My friends might come over and play video games sometimes. That might have been true. But I wanted to go outside. We played football, we played basketball, we ran, we did karate. We did a lot of things. I mean, the non-productivity we have today, it just is, it can be very sad to look at. And then when you tell people about the issues, they want to get on your throat saying, you don't want people to be happy. Let people live their life. I don't mind you living your life, but I'm trying to make sure you don't go in the casket quicker. And actually, the life expectancy for people has dropped among younger people, so that could be an issue too. So that's that. That's just the way I look at it.
Yeah. The life expectancy used to be 70, I think 77 or 72. I think it was 77. I think it's down to 72 now, but I hate to say it, Bishop. The 50, oh my God. I hate to say it. I don't, 55 might be the life expectancy in the next 20, 30 years. If that, might be 40. They done sped it up. The rate they going, man, with all the extra, unnatural things that we consume. And that ain't just food, it's everything we consume. The unnatural behaviors, the unnatural, thought patterns, you know what I mean? It alters the life cycle.
Of course. Of course. It's sad. It's really sad when you look at it, when you really think about it. That, and I'm so glad for both you and Bernard, because just by your example, and you in particular, Chak, because you keep it with me, you send me menus and other things like that, and I appreciate that. And I've lost a lot. I mean, I went from when I first got with you guys really seriously, when you start talking about the diets and all that, I was 265. Now I'm 240.
Oh man, we gotta congratulate that, Bishop. Man, that's awesome, man.
That's less than a few months. They even were surprised. I went to my doctor. I had a new doctor just 2 months in December, and I was 255 when I went to the doctor. Now that's in December. This is only February. I'm 240.
Wow.
I went from 255 to 240 from December when I started my new doctor till now.
Well,
wow, man.
Let me salute you on that and thank and
I'm
look.
proud of you. I'm saluting.
Now I feel like I
I'm
helped
proud of you, man.
somebody on that, and Chak did his work too. Because I actually came to Bishop's house last year and we had talked about. As a matter of fact, hold it, stop the music one more time. Gotta announce to me. I may, don't throw it out there yet, but I may be re-entering the city of Philadelphia next week. We gotta see. Let me know what I got on my docket. I gotta go a couple places, but I may come back to Philadelphia and we're gonna have a better interview. And I'm not going to New York this time, so I'm not gonna have no boot on the car.
Yeah,
I'm just coming to Philadelphia.
Oh wow.
And I may stop one other state, DC. I don't know, and that's fine. And I also talked to the great queen, Dr. Carmen Johnson, and she did say she might. They asked me that I want to come on the next. I probably will oblige. Yes, I will oblige to it. Thank you very much. But that's good that you did do that, and thank you for listening to me because I've been talking about this for a while. Look, I told you I have not drunk any soda since I have been 22 years old. Okay,
well, I can't say.
Wow.
I can't say that.
Me neither.
I can't say that.
But it is what it is.
I might have a big red tonight.
And but the fact
you know what
that you did lose.
But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say this, but I'll be through. Let me say this. I want to say this before I get ready to go. I would say this. The both of you have done two things for me. First of all, I love your motivation in terms of politics, but I also love your motivation in terms of life and how to have a more fruitful life. That's the most important of all things. Because I don't care what you do politically, if you can't function physically, I mean, that's wonderful. But what it's going to really do for you? But my thing was this is what I learned from you guys. I learned three things. That's why I lost so much weight. I learned to eat proportionately. That's a key. Mm-hmm. I learned to substitute some things like salt with other things other than salt. I've significantly dropped my sugar intake. And then the third thing I did was I don't eat after a certain time. I don't eat after 6 o'clock. I don't eat. I haven't eaten since really today. It was before 6 because I ate my mother get hers, and I fed her at 3, and I eat at the same time. So now here we are at 10 o'clock or whatever it is. I would definitely not eat now. It's just way too late for me to eat anything. And so that's what I think has contributed. I've curbed some of my eating habits. I'm really being mindful of my portions, and then finally I don't eat past 6 o'clock.
Thank you.
And I learned, and I really got that. So I mean, I really
you,
learned, and so I'm sticking to it. I like how I'm feeling, and I'm glad I did it because with my mother and the energy that it causes me to be doing, because I'm doing much more now because of my mother. You know, even though I'm in a wheelchair, I still got to do a lot. I'm there cooking for her. I'm there doing things for her, you know, giving her pills and other things. I got to be mindful of that. I'll be up in a few minutes because she's getting ready to stir now. I could be down there and be with her until 5 o'clock this morning. And that's why a lot of times I get sleepy. Go ahead.
I want to bring this to you. I'm glad you said that. Because I want you to definitely take care of that. I want to say one thing. I'm glad you said that. I didn't mean to jump in on that, but I wanted to say something. You said that you don't be at 6. Now you usually 7 or 8, depending on some things, gym workout, whatever. But let me bring this up to you. And if I do eat, it's like a banana or a snack or like a almond or something. But let me bring this up. When we eat, they tell you eat for the nourishment of your body, not for the gluttonous reasons. And that's why, that's what I was talking about. I'm not talking about you eating to nourish, but if I eat at 7 o'clock, right? And somebody asks me, hey man, you want to go to a bar, you want to hang out, you want to go to a restaurant, meet me at a restaurant, whatever the case may be. Hey, I can come, but I ain't eating again. I just ate at 7 o'clock. What the hell am I eating at 9 o'clock for? My body ain't
Right. I like that.
2
That's right.
hours earlier. And let me say something about discipline. Discipline is the way to, once you have your mind is disciplined, life is so much easier for you. That's all I got to say.
I just want to let me throw a disclaimer out there. I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to no institution to get no medical degree or nothing like that. I'm a regular person just like everybody else that see the downward shape in humanity, in men and women, and us people, right? I see the downward shape that we're going in, that it's a deliberate downswing. You know what I mean? So I researched things, I tried some certain things out, and it helped me too, Bishop. I was diagnosed with diabetes, type 2 diabetes in 2003, right? Just like everybody else, wasn't enough information out there. All it was thrown on you that was going to be your life. That was something that was going to be a monkey on your back for the rest of your life at that point in time with all the research we had, per se. I took it lightly, nonchalant, because I was young, an athletic guy, and didn't really take it serious. Over the years, it started to wreak havoc with my body because I wasn't, you know what I mean? I was just eating all times of the day, one trip, and then you slow down with working out because you're working, you got a family, you get married, you get in relationships, you got children, you want to work, and all that stuff, your activity, something slow down, metabolism, whatever. So I had to go on my own journey, and I suggest everybody go on your own journey and see what works for you. It's things out here to help you. We got way more information that we can tune into to help us, help yourself, and help other people. So I'm here to help anybody, help you, coach you. You can coach me. Hey, Bishop, you are inspiration to me. But when I heard your story, I was like, wow. And you still was able to get married, still function, have children, still be able to have a career, go to college, all that. I said, well, damn. Hear me, my vision got messed up in what, 2000? I say you got messed up real bad in maybe between 2015, 2016, over the bad eating habits. Now I want to throw this out here that when I start doing my real research, I came to the conclusion. I was one of the first people, I would say, publicly saying this. And I was considered to be crazy, and something is wrong with you, boy. Sugar, as we know it, is a drug. It's the number one drug in America. I was one of the first people saying that,
Mm.
right? Once I started doing my research, openly say it, right? Now you hear more. You hear it now. You hear it coming out. You hear studies now. You hear research, more documents coming out how sugar bad the processed sugar is to the body. It does to the body. It wreaks havoc in there. And the processed salt, right? So I just went on a journey, man, and we all inspire each other. And I want to keep inspiring people. I want all of us to keep inspiring each other to do and be more productive. And you can still have fun, watch the game, you know what I'm saying? Have, your leisure time, do what you do, but moderation. Because I want to say it. The type 2 diabetes, I want to say it's a form of a glutton. Bernard brought it up. It's a gluttonous disease. You are excessive. You're first of all, most of the food, so-called food, I got air quotes in the air, Bishop. The stuff we call food is heavy processed with chemicals, right? I hate to say it. And we overindulge in it. Ain't nothing wrong with you having a couple of cookies, 1 or 2 or 3 cookies or 4 cookies. But we indulge. We'll eat cookies. We'll eat potato chips, ice cream, all times of day and all times of night, midnight. 1 o'clock in the morning, we get up with a snack. We eat orange juice. We're drinking orange juice. We're drinking milk and cookies. We dipping the milk at a large number. So we are overindulging in some of these things. And we're seeing the effect now. We're reaping the effect, the benefit of our labors of being gluttonous. They brought that to America. America, when we wasn't not gluttonous, that was something that was a European thing. Them people was messing. They was eating up all. They back in they ate. Them people ate up. They damn near ate all the fish up out they goddamn on sea over there. Bishop, how can you damn near eat yourself out? They was literally eating themselves out of house and home. They had to go out and branch out to other countries and go look and scavenge some more places. Man, it was gluttonous. They brought that same mentality over here to this America, man. Do your research,
Let me
people.
bring this up.
Yes, sir.
Let me bring this up. I'm glad that somebody's been embracing everybody and we all inspire each other. And it's very good that people know this because this can help save some people. Like I said, I just tell you, man, I mean, when I was a child, I just said, I might have watched all these superhero movies and I said I wanted to be probably I mean, this is like some real, I'm about to say some crazy stuff. It's kind of like you want to be the greatest hero that ever lived or something like that. And I realized, hey, these are some people that tell me sometimes, they tell me your ambitions are so lofty and it's so out there that you're trying to be this perfect person. I said, I never said that. I'm just trying to, make a difference in somebody's reality because you create your reality. Don't nobody create your own reality but you. So I would say I want to be the biggest hero that ever is. I'm not going to say that, but I am helping some people with health and things like that, and they learn information. I send your information every day. So I mean, I'm just gonna say it's no way I can be the biggest hero this world ever known. It's not gonna happen. It's probably not gonna happen. Right? I mean, let's just but at least I did do some things that I can say that, hey, you did accomplish things, and some people listen to you and some didn't. But guess what? That's just the way it is. I mean, hey, look. I mean, people throwing stones at me, they ain't gonna call me crazy. They just say that you're smart in those areas, but you don't know as much as the news anchors, which I probably know better than them dingbats you know on TV do. But that's another story. But regardless of the fact, Bishop, I know you got to take your mom and stuff. So go ahead and shout out the information.
Okay, every Wednesday at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be having our discussion on Real Talk with the G-Man. We invite you to be a part of it. And then on Saturdays at 6 p.m., we have another program, Eastern Standard Time, called Taking the Dis Out of Disability. And we talk about the issues we're talking about now. Chak is going to be a guest. I want you to be a guest also, Bernard, because we need to help each other. And people who have physical, developmental, and mental challenges. We deal with people who have lupus, people who have diabetes. They're members of the program. And they need to understand about diet. They need to understand that though you have a condition, the condition doesn't have to have you. And you can still live longer and have more fruitful life if you eat better and drink better and live better. You don't have to be crippled by your disability. You can allow the disability to submit to you as you submit to the things that you need to do to make your lives more fruitful. So I thank you for the opportunity always to be with you guys. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be with you. And I think the future of our nation, as long as they have people like you, is bright. And I'm not going to say neither one of you will not make a difference in this world. I believe both of you, individually and collectively, will make a big difference in the lives of many people. May not be the world, but if you touch just one person, oh my goodness, but what that person touches somebody, and that person touches somebody, and before you know it, everybody has been touched by something you said, something you did in the life that you lived. Thank you again.
Hey, don't forget to get a
No
number out,
problem, man.
Bishop,
Take your
to
time.
the show.
Oh yeah. My number is what is it, Chak? You know,
I think it's 563.
I know. I never remember.
Hold on. It's a blog talk call-in show, people, so you can dial from your phone to call
Yeah,
in
563.
and listen, get in the queue.
Yes, 563-999-3705.
There you go.
Thank you, Chak. You got me the first three. You got me the rest. Okay, thank you.
All right, Chak,
Joe boy can't remember everything.
Vision, brother.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. It's always a joy to be
God
here
bless
with
you.
great men, man. And we are building something, man. It's to take everything great took time to build, man. And it took teamwork. And hopefully I know we got a good team, and we just have to work at it and keep going at it. And then nothing was built overnight, right? Hitler didn't take over what he did, blah, blah, blah. America didn't come in. United States of America did not get that built overnight. It took time. It took repetition. And you're going to hear some same things that we say and other people said. The Dick Gregory's, salute the Dick Gregory's, the Dr. Sabies, and all the other greats that came before us. They mentioned some of the same things that they came on, and it's called repetition. So we get to the end of the tunnel by repeating, by repetitions, right? Practice. We always heard practice make perfect. So let's just practice doing what we need to do to get to the end of the tunnel. Because guess what? There's going to be bumps in the roads. And one of my models I developed a long time ago is learning how to what, Bishop? Roll with the punches, baby.
I love that. Roll with the punches.
Roll with the punches, baby. That's my time, man. You can catch me on Instagram, Shaq_L. You see it on the screen. Check me out, man. I might throw some lives up, man. Just come into the room. Hey, salute me, you know what I'm saying? And tap in my DM if you want to do a live with me, man. I would love to get with people that's struggling with, how figuring out, your everyday life of you might want to have a conversation. Get some steam off your chest, man. Tap in with me on my DMs, or you just want to have a conversation, man. Like I said, you talk about some alternative ways you can eat, or ways certain things you want to add into your diet, take out your diet. Holler at me, talk to me, man. I'm there.
All right. Well, look, this has all been very entertaining, and I should, like I said, took a lot away about this. Is a very, very good. I mean, look. I went over more bonus stuff than I usually do. I might usually give you one or two things, but I went over a couple of things that I won't even supposed to go. But nevertheless, we'll just do this again, maybe next week or in the future. So I want y'all to take your time and have a good night.
All right. Peace.
Peace, guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir.